2013, and I still didn't even know what a podcast was yet. I think it was 2014 or 2015 that I got my first iPhone. And I was like, what does this purple thing do? And I clicked on it and started listening. And that's when I fell in love. That's when I was like, this is sick. But you had started your second podcast already before I even listened to one. All right, keep going.
Yeah. So that show progressed. It was a great local feature. It did really good. Popular in the Denver area, did exactly what I wanted to. I made a lot of great relationships I had with business owners in the local area, which was my number one concern, and just had some fun with it. From there, I was like, you know what?
Hey, Ryan, can I interrupt you?
Oh, please.
So you mentioned that in 2008, your podcast was gaining a lot of traction. It was doing really well in its space.
Yeah.
How did this one do that you started the Denver Business Podcast in 2013? How was that doing? Did it have a lot of listeners, a little bit of listeners? Is it a bad thing that it was is just there for one like city? Like, there's all of these people in all of these countries in the world, and you only were really focused on Denver. And so did that hold you back? Did it make it bigger? Did you start it earlier? I'm real curious about kind of like the traction that it was getting.
You bet. Eighth Grade Ball, I think at its peak had probably 10,000 downloads per episode. And I would do probably one or two a week, which was pretty darn good back then. Denver Business Podcast was much less. It ended up probably peaking around 1,500 per episode as far as downloads go. And it was kind of put in a local container for a reason, largely because, if you want to be Dave Ramsey and you want to do business advice to everybody, that's fantastic. But really, I wanted to get a snapshot of Denver founders, particularly so they could see what my business interests were, which were local. The other point of the show was to get people in my office. We had this beautiful office over on 32nd and Larimer, and I did all my shows or all my recordings in-house. So they'd come and we'd be in this big, beautiful table, and we'd serve food and we'd have cocktails and do intros with music. It was just kind of a big impression, again, because I was trying to make a good impression on these folks to see if we could work together. And a lot of times that worked out really well.